know your boy went to Yale.
I didn't either.
That's weird.
What's so weird about it?
I think he would have mentioned it. His drawers are empty.
Here's that book from David Icke. This is that guy that Ron was talking about on the phone.
I got the same thing over here.
Check this out. What? 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 Sounds like whispers.
Hello? Hello?
No! Here, take the camera. Hand me the camera. Hand me the camera.
See, this was a weird thing because we definitely felt that somebody was in that house. So when I got back to my house, I put the footage, my footage, into my editing software. And as the frames progressed, I slow-moed it. And then I lightened the image quality. And that's when you can see it. 3 figures hopping over that fence. There were people at that house watching us.
At Jude's house, Brandon had come across 3 different clues that interested him. First, he finds a book by a writer named David Icke. Icke is a world-famous author and speaker who has written extensively about this phenomenon, shape-shifting. Secondly, Brandon finds a Bible-type book by a cult known as The Arena.
And then we go onto the internet and we research this cult, the Arena, and we find out that they believe that the leaders of the world are really shape-shifting reptilians, that hiding behind human form, they are really, these lizard people.
Finally, Brandon finds a videotape. On it, he finds footage of women talking about being ritually abused by shape-shifting reptilians.
The one thing you must know is you are surrounded by millions of reptilian men.
Days later, Brandon and Mr. X travelled to England to meet with David Icke. Icke is a former professional footballer whose promising career was cut short by rheumatoid arthritis. He then became a well-known sports broadcaster for the BBC, but later turned to writing numerous books on the occult and has become the world's most controversial and most popular conspiracy theorist, selling millions of books and speaking to thousands at packed venues all over the world.
DNA decides the characteristics of the body. Now, scientists think they know a lot about DNA. They know shit about DNA compared with the reptilians. They have the ability and the knowledge to move to the human codes of the DNA and appear to us to be human, and move then to the reptilian codes of the DNA and shift literally in front of your eyes into a reptilian form.
But have people witnessed this?
Well, I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people who have witnessed this. I've come across endless stories. One of them, for instance, came from a victim of US government mind control. There are these massive mind control projects. And she tells the story in her book, and she told me personally, of how she was with George Bush, the father, in the White House when he was vice president, and he told her they were a extraterrestrial race that had taken over the planet, but no one realized it because they looked human. They came from a far-off space place.
He told her this.
He told her this.
Did they not, you know, want to kill her? I mean, that's
well,
who's
going to believe it, Brandon? That's the defense mechanism. It's so fantastic. And he said that they had the ability, these hybrids, to move between human and reptilian form. That's exactly what we're talking about with shape-shifting. And interestingly, the first things to go, and that which goes quickest, is the eyes. They move to a reptilian form first. And it often happens when these guys are in a real emotional state or really, really angry. It starts to move that DNA shift.
David, I wanted to ask you about some disturbing footage that I got in Los Angeles of some really bizarre, it's really bizarre. It's these women that claim that they've had sexual relations and relationships with these reptilians. I mean, have you heard of this before?
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. I've heard it from so many different people around the world that this abuse and stuff goes on. What's going on here? All right, okay. We have to have permission. We have to have permission to film in a place that we taxpayers pay for. Are you winding me up?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Well, over here, you see, you've got this bloody protest here against the Iraq war. It's been going on for bloody 3 years. And the other night, they pulled it all down. In the middle of the night, the police, you can't even protest against people who are killing thousands of children and civilians in Iraq. You can't do it. It's against the law. See, peace is against the law. The law is against peace. But in there, where they want to go on their wars of conquest and kill thousands of bloody children, the law is on their side to do that. It's a free country. Please. Intelligent life calling planet Earth. We are not being served by the people we elect. We serve the people we elect. Okay, I got an idea. In this neo-Nazi state where you can't film your own public buildings, why don't we just walk and just come behind us and we'll just chat away? Stick it in your jacket. That's probably the best thing.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And amazing, isn't it? This is free Britain, ladies and gentlemen.
So, according to Mr. Icke's instruction, you then hid your camera inside your jacket?
Yes, I had to. Otherwise, they would have shut us down.
David, let me ask you about it. Have you ever heard of a group called The Arena?
No, what's that?
It's in Los Angeles. It's a group. I got to be honest with you. I'm concerned about it because they've been following me, and I'm wondering if I'm safe from these guys. It's called The Arena.
I've never heard of The Arena, but all over the world, there are hundreds of thousands of groups and cults that work in secrecy that you would call secret societies, secret groupings. And in the end, they fit together to form the web of global control and manipulation. But I've never come across specifically The Arena, no.
Now let me ask you, since I've now found out about them and they know that I've found out about them, I've been followed by them, am I safe? Am I in trouble here?
Well, first of all, the fact they're following you means you're going down a road they don't want you to go. So that's good. It means you're on a trail that's worth pursuing.
But I'm worried. I'm worried. I got kids.
You have a choice, Brandon, right? You can walk away and let them intimidate you and go into your nice life and forget about Jude and forget about all this shite, right? Or you can say, hold on a minute. At this point in my life, I'm going to do something about the injustice and the manipulation and the horrors that go on in this world, and so I'm going to uncover this and I'm going to keep going.
So you said that David Icke gave Brandon a sort of walking tour of London to show him this so-called reptilian symbolism.
Yes, again, David Icke told us that this is where the reptilians operated their central base from, and that this is where the reptilian symbolism was, most noticeable.
What I want to do is show you something here. Like I say, this is one of the great global epicenters of reptilian manipulation through this, if you like, secret society network. It calls itself the Illuminati.
Right.
Now, what are the chances, just by coincidence, of the logo, the very image of this city, being that? There it is. It's two flying reptiles holding a shield. Now that shield is the symbol of the Knights Templar. And if you look over there, you've got a colour version of it. All over this place, mate, you'll see these images.
Ike believes that because the reptilians rule in secrecy, that they've placed symbolism all over the world to signify their dominance over humanity. But after touring London all day, looking at all this symbolism, all this evidence, Brandon was unconvinced. And he told Ike,
I'm not buying that shape-shifting reptilians exist because I see a lizard on a lamppost, or I see lions on the front of a building. I mean, does that mean, or